Blog Talk Radio.
Hiya, Seth. How's it going this evening?
It's going great. I'm really excited for today's show.
Yay!
Well, it's today's show. It's an evening. We have. Oh boy, sorry about that. Okay. I wanted to tell you that Mystic Moon to me is a show that reaches beyond fear, and it's making paranormal normal, which I think this stuff has been normal all the time.
We're taking the scary out of the scary.
Yeah, and I had to kind of paraphrase because I didn't have your description up. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I would like
to
introduce.
Okay,
yeah,
please.
We're all good. I would like to introduce somebody that I'm very excited about. She is a paragenealogist, which she'll explain. She steps up the game by utilizing items passed down through generations, visiting homesteads, places of interment buried. Is that what that means? Internment.
Yes.
Internment.
Yeah. Internment.
Sorry about that. Vangie is clairsentient, intuitive, with psychometry abilities. This is a person who has insight or knowing of a hidden or forgotten fact, using her ability to obtain direct knowledge or cognition without rational thought or interference. She also has the ability to receive impressions left on an object by someone connected with it. Basically, she can take an unfamiliar object to reveal much about its owner. Again, that's usually referred to as psychometry. I also want to add that what I read a little bit on the one of her websites, and I found that she has 7 children, all beginning with L. So we'll talk to her primarily about what she's about, and how about we bring her on?
Okie dokie.
Welcome, Vangie.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on.
I wanted to tell you, my girlfriend comes from a family of J's, so I thought it was really interesting.
Hey,
you have a family of L's. What was that?
My husband's the only G in the house. My mother is G, and she's an L.
So we're going to get into the meat and the root of what you're about. I was just wondering, is there a certain reason that you named your children with an L?
My mother's name is Lolita Arena. My name is Vangeline Erika. So I kept it going all the way through my kids, including my adopted son. So everybody in the house is a LAW except my mom who's a LAR and my husband who's a GW.
See, I knew there was some meaning behind it because spiritual people usually have meaning to what we do. All right. I'm sorry?
Keeping it all linked together.
Yeah, exactly. That's what life is about, and beyond. I wondered if you could tell the audience what is a paragenealogist.
The best way I describe a paragenealogist is I am a genealogist who takes the normal route, but I'm a genealogist who has a little extra know. I can go into a situation and feel my way through their past. Like, for example, wedding rings. They're right on that vein going to your heart. I can connect back to your past. And sometimes it's real immediate. Other times it takes a little while. And sometimes it's so overwhelming I can only it's like a gray. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't see anything at all. And it worries me because when you see somebody with nothing at all, it kind of makes me wonder, how much have you blocked in your past? So in genealogy, when someone says, well, my great-great-grandma gave me this Bible, and I'm thinking, how many people have touched this Bible? It's a genealogist with a no. Hey, it's fun. Unfortunately, I've also been told recently that I'm an how you say it, empathic?
Empath. Yep.
And I know my daughter's one. I know my cousin's one, but I never associated me as being an empath. Until
do you consider yourself a medium?
I would have to say, unfortunately, in a denial, yes, I am, because I've denied it all these years, and I've been doing it for people and hadn't even really thought of it as being a medium.
Okay, yeah. So I'm getting a strong feeling that you are.
Yeah, I've done it I've actually had conversations between my good friend's mother and her deceased husband, and I just never thought of it. It's strange. I guess it was like you kind of know what you don't want to know, but you know.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I had a client once that came in and said, I don't want to know anything about spirits. I just want to focus on me. I'm not going there with spirits. So, okay, no problem. Turns out she's an awesome medium. She finally let that through now. So it kind of reminds me of your story.
Yeah, it's happened quite a bit. And it started back when I was like 13, 14 years old is when it really hit home that I was doing it and didn't realize I was doing it. I had a ghost named Santonia, and I just never thought anything about it, which is scary. That you accept a ghost in your life and you just accept it. But,
yeah,
yep.
It is what it is, so there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We call that radical acceptance. You don't have to like or agree with it. It just is what it is.
Yeah, but you know something that's really strange is in the, I'm African American, I'm European American, and I'm Native American. And the African American.
That's a whole lot of American.
It's almost not, yeah, I'm American. It's shunned almost in the African American community. And for a long time, I never revealed that that's what I was doing in my genealogy because I didn't want people to go, oh, she's crazy. But in the Native American world, it's accepted because that's what happens. It happens way too often. And in the European American world, it's okay. I take that back. That's just the right Catholic person, and you might find out you are a demon. That part. So it's been, in the last couple of years, I've come to the point, when I turned 40, it was like one of those, I don't care. I mean, I've lived my life. You don't like it, you don't have to be a part of me. You know? And
yes.
It's funny because it's crazy that now I'm finding that the more I tell people what I do, they're going, really? Well, you know, I had this happen. What do you think that is? I've had people walk up to me that knew from a friend that I had read her family's past through her ring. Can you do me? I'm like, what am I, a circus act? No.
Yeah, that's actually happens. That just happens when we start coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
It's kind of thrilling for people. Unbeknownst to them, they have it too, I believe.
I firmly believe every human being has this ability. I think that it's right around puberty, in my opinion, where a parent either tells you to stop being silly or they embrace, because they've embraced it, their psychic abilities.
Yes.
You know, I hate to say it, I am a real estate agent, and I have come into places where I know there's activity.
Wow.
And I can't say anything because
I'm
it
just
is
imagining being a
against the
real
law.
estate agent and being able to pick up on spirits. That's got to be pretty busy.
Gosh, yes. Cemetery, especially properties that have cemeteries on it that the family doesn't know about.
Whoa.
And in Virginia, there are a lot.
Oh, I'll bet there are. Now, do you tell the prospective buyers about that, or do you not approach that then?
According to the law, I am not allowed.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, if there's in most states, real estate agents can't divulge any type of information that could harm the seller of the property. 99% of the time, I was a listing agent. If it was my buyers, I'll just make up an excuse. I just don't like this house. I think this house just is going to need too much work. And they have no idea what work I'm talking about.
Sure. Oh, good approach.
Yeah, that's a lot of integrity.
Yeah, it's only been 2 houses in 17 years of real estate that scared the crap out of me. Okay. One, my client, she said, let's go in the basement. I want to see the basement first. She got downstairs. This woman came running past me and out the door. She nearly knocked me down coming through the doorway.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what the heck? And
any idea what happened down there?
Let me tell you, this house, literally, even just now, I got a chill. That's how scary this was for me. I saw the blackness coming. I don't even know what I was going to see. And I called the real estate agent, and I said, tell me now, what's going on in the house? She said the owners refused to go back. I went, did you ever think something's wrong? And she said, what are you talking about? I said, well, the keys to my house are on the kitchen table. The door is unlocked. You go back and lock it. Because whatever was in there knew what I knew. They could see me. I could see them. And that was scary to me. Now, second instance, it scared me, but it was a very calm scare because I was with my clients. And my client and I, the wife was upstairs in the bedroom with me. The husband was in the master bathroom. And we're standing there talking, and we're facing the door to the bedroom where it leads out to the hallway. Okay. And we watched a man walk into the room in the hallway.
So everyone saw it?
She and I, the wife and I saw it. And he was clear. Like you could see through him. And she looked at me, she said, did you just see that? And I went, I did. You saw that too? She said, yeah. She said, I want this house. I don't want this house at all. And her husband's like, peeked out the bathroom and said, what are you two talking about? We're ready to leave. Now, so the man was harmless. Needless to say, when we got downstairs to the first level, the kitchen level, her husband still is totally oblivious to what we are talking about. And he says, you sure you want to leave? And the fireplace turned on. Now, the gas in the house was off. The water in the house was off. So that was a good sign because we couldn't turn the fireplace off. I was like, there's a ghost. Let's go. There's no way I'm going in the basement. I'm not afraid, but I'm afraid because my biggest fear in life is that I will have something follow me home.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how to prevent that?
Oh, please tell me. It hasn't happened, so please tell me.
It's pretty much just being in the. This is just my point of view. It's pretty much just being in the driver's seat. You know, being very assertive, not necessarily having to be aggressive. Because most of them are people. So, so if it is a dark entity that possibly isn't human, that would be good shielding. And sometimes that actually works with the other ones, but for the earthbounds, pretty much all it usually takes is Thank you very much. I'm going to leave now, and I'm not allowing anyone to come with me. That works for me.
I'm wondering, I've always said I think I have a lot of spirits around me. Positive spirits. I believe these are very protective spirits because I admit I am probably the clumsiest human being that I know of. But I have been very fortunate in situations where I was supposed to go one direction and something usually distracts me and I go in another.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe in the concept of spirit guides?
Oh, I've seen one where I know for a fact he saved my life. Wow. I know for a fact that it was dusk, and I got off of the bus, the public transportation, and I usually cut down this path to go home sometimes just because it was kind of cool to go down. And I got off the bus, and this man was sitting on the bench with this old hat that looks like it was something out of the 50s, and he said, this old man said clearly, yeah, you know you're not supposed to go down this path when it's dark like this. You walk the long way home. And I'm like, I literally said, you're right, out of respect, and turned around and started up the hill the long way. Went in the house. Oh, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. I turned around and he was gone. Oh, just was gone. Got in the house, took my shower, went to bed. 7 o'clock that morning, my grandmother called and said, oh, my God, you're okay. And I'm like, what? She said, a young lady was brutally raped and beat up on the path. And I'm like, what?
Holy
and
cow.
It happened around 7:15 last night. I'm like, oh.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if he warned her, too. Or could he warn her?
Or she might not have been listening, or it might have been for a big picture spiritual thing that is hard to explain.
So I think I, more than most people, I think I listen to the voices that I hear a little bit more than most people.
Right, because you know how people get in those relationships and they hear, oh, no, this is no good. This guy, something's wrong. He's lying. They'll get those messages and be like, but he's so cute and great in bed. I'm not going to listen to that. And then they end up, really miserable. I get those calls. I should have listened.
You know the benefit of being an intuitive?
What's that?
Is that whenever I've dated guys, I've gotten this wrenching tear in my gut that tells me, hey, he's doing something that you would be sick over. And every time the guy was cheating.
Oh.
Wow.
It might not have been, sexual or anything, but it was cheating. You were dating someone else behind my back.
That hurts like heck is when you know about it, doesn't it? I mean, just not knowing about it and finding out does, but having that knowledge.
Yeah, and my husband always jokes, he says, I could never cheat on you because you would know.
That's true.
So,
you would know before he would do it.
Yeah. He's
How long have you been in touch with your abilities?
Probably since I was about, I would say 18. I'm going to take that back. I was 16. My grandfather passed away, and he was on his deathbed, and he had tubes down his throat, couldn't speak, and clearly I heard him say to me, the ship only sails once. The second time, you won't have. And I looked at him, and he said it again. He said, if you sail twice, you've missed it. Sorry. And I kind of said, wow, okay? Yeah. And I'm looking going, how did he talk through the tubes? Like, 16, 17.
Right, yeah.
Well, the next morning he died around 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know exactly what time, but I was in a dead sleep. I heard mice squeaking, bells, a chime, a knocking noise, and I sat up in bed and I was like, what was that? And I just went downstairs and I said to my aunt, I said, I think Granddaddy just passed. And she was like, go to bed. And the phone rang. And she looked at me and she's like, how did you know? And I told her, I said, I don't know, but I...
You just knew all over. Was it like an all-over body knowing? Or...
Yeah, I felt the grief. It was... I didn't know what to do.
That's an empath quality, right? Because you were talking about it being an empath.
Well, I got
you were discovering that.
My grandmother died on December 19th. And on December 19th, my husband and I had went into the mountains to buy land. And when we came back, I looked at my phone and I went, oh, God. Because we had the old answer machine. And I had 19 messages. And I just looked and I said, this can't be good. There's 19 messages. We've never gotten calls.
Oh, no.
19 messages means something big is happening.
Yeah.
So when we heard the message, that night, we knew how to get from our apartment to the hospice. We had been there a million times. I went to the college right across the street. There's no way we could get lost. We got so lost, it took us like 2 hours to get where we should have been in half an hour, 45 minutes. So we walked in, and the whole family's just standing there, and it was like, we're all waiting for you. And I'm thinking, I'm the granddaughter. This is kind of scary. Y'all all are standing here waiting. Wow. So she said the nurses won't let us do anything. I go in the room. My husband goes with me, and I lean over my grandmother, and I feel heat behind me. And I'm kind of like ignoring it. I'm thinking this is weird. And I kept saying to my grandmother throughout her sickness, she had ovarian cancer, I love you, and she wouldn't say it back. Well, I felt that love right then and there. So I leaned over, I gave her a kiss, and I went down to her feet, and I put my hand against her feet, and I kind of rubbed her feet, and I said, it's okay. You can rest peacefully now. And just as I did that, a hand touched my shoulder. I thought it was my husband. When I turned around, he was out in the waiting room talking to my aunts and uncles. And I kind of turned around and I said, wow, wow, please tell me you're not going to be around like that when I'm doing other things. You're not going to joke. I tell you, it was like a poke at that point, like, this is no time to joke. The nurse came in, and I said, can I ask you, why did you wait for me? She said, I don't know. Something just told me we're supposed to wait. I said, she didn't tell you to tell me to wait? And she said, no, I just couldn't do it. I said, wow, my husband's mother died. Well, my husband didn't believe in my gift before that night when his mom died. Mm-hmm. She held the door. We couldn't get into the room, the hospital room where she died. We could not get in.
Oh, wow.
And like idiots, we called the nurse and said, can you unlock the door? She said, there are no locks on these doors. I'm like, okay. Well, the door won't open. And she pushed it, and it didn't. Oh, she said, what? And she said, okay, we got to get into this room. And she pushed it real hard, and the door opened. My husband and I looked at each other. He said, what was that? And I went, nothing. When we walked into the room, I could see his mother standing in the corner, and I could see her body on the bed. And so I said, wow, I guarantee you no one prayed over her. So I uncovered her feet, and I did a little prayer, telling her to walk safely with God. And she kind of like smiled, just a little pierce of a smile. When her kids got there, it was strange to see their reaction, first of all, but it was strange to see her reaction because she knew I knew something that I had only told my husband and my sister-in-law, And that was that Friday before we left. We had left to go to North Carolina, where her brother had just passed, and nobody in the family wanted her to know this. Well, she was watching some show with elephants. I can remember this. And my niece was sitting beside me, my husband, and my sister-in-law, and I heard her say, "I am so tired, I just want to sleep." And I looked at her and I said, "You need some rest, don't you?" And everybody looked at me, and she smiled a little bit, and she closed her eyes. And I said, "Well, we're going to come back and see you on Monday. We're going to go to North Carolina and visit everybody." We didn't want to tell her we were going to a funeral. Well, we get to North Carolina. We missed the funeral. But we talked to my uncle's wife, and she said the darndest thing. She said he kept saying he talked to Fannie Mae, and she told him that she missed him. I was like, no, he couldn't have talked to Fannie Mae because she doesn't have a voice. She has a whisper. She has sort of a lung cancer and lung ailment.
Oh, dear.
And I said, wow, she knew already. And I've always said my mother-in-law definitely was an empath. Definitely. Because she was one of the reasons why I never told anybody about the paragenealogy. Because one day I was tracing a family tree, and she yelled at me, "Don't you bring up the dead people. Don't you talk to them. Don't bring up my dead people." And I kind of had to shrink back a little bit because I had never had that reaction that was strong from anybody.
That's probably because she was one.
Everybody thought
didn't want
to
acknowledge
crazy. She could hear the neighbors next door talking through the wall where no one else could.
Oh, wow.
Okay? She wasn't crazy. She was an empath.
Yeah. And clairaudient, obviously.
Definitely. Definitely. She and I, we didn't have to talk to each other. We knew. We just knew. And it was strange because my sister-in-laws all are really sweet people, but they thought they knew hers and my relationship. But the funny part was, just like with my great-grandmother, I don't need to call and see her to communicate with her. My great-grandmother. My grandmother's 91 years old. My grandmother, we don't have to see each other to communicate. I know she's fine, and I called yesterday, and I said, "Oh, you called after 2 months." I'm like, "I'm talking to you, not her." I just called to say hi to you. But in genealogy, you can relate to this. Places that are hard for me, hospitals, are horrible for me.
Oh, my goodness, yes, I can.
It's overwhelmingly hard because you have that too close to death, too close to life feel, and people just don't know what they are. Cemeteries are whispers. The thing about white noise and gray noise, I just hear noise. It's just so overwhelming. But funeral homes are really interesting because when I go on funeral homes, and I've yet to have anybody explain it to me, so maybe one of y'all can, why do the lights flicker on and off when I go into funeral homes?
My thought is that they know you can pay attention to them.
Yeah,
and
they're
they want your
acknowledging you. Mm-hmm. They're saying hello.
In my experience, most of them stay with their bodies until they're buried, until their ceremony. So they're there, I believe.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, somebody can see us."
I literally had somebody say a funeral isn't important, and I said, "Are you kidding me?" You know, churches are not my friend either because, again, it's a really busy, noisy place for me. But the thing that really bothers me is that you have so many spirits in there, and they're usually good spirits, really good, kind spirits.
Oh, yeah.
And I often wonder if those good spirits at the church actually hold people back from going to the beyond.
I have found that to be true at times.
And it kind of scares me because I actually told my husband, I said, "Do me a favor. when I die, can we keep it short? You know, I understand why people have had funerals at their home back in the old days.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You mean like so they're comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. It makes sense.
I didn't think about that before. That's pretty, that makes total sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if you had a choice to be buried at home where you love to be, or in a church where you have to be quiet.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be buried? They have a funeral.
Some of those ceremonies long drawn out. They would have get to the fun.
I said, but you got to send them out with singing and dancing. I'm like, you could do that in my front yard. I'm convinced my neighbors will.
Exactly.
In fact, I don't even, and I know I've lost a nanny over this because I don't think she understood how hard it was for myself and my two oldest daughters. My oldest daughter won't admit to having any abilities, but she suffers from something that I see a lot of empaths and clairvoyants go through. They hear and see things and they think they're crazy.
Mhm.
Sure.
And so she's been diagnosed bipolar, but she also has a lot of anxiety. So is my second daughter.
I'm not clinical in any stretch, but however, just from my experience doing readings for 20 years, I've found that people diagnosed with certain diagnoses are very in touch with that realm.
Very, very.
And I also wanted to mention that you are an advocate for mental illness and or people with diagnoses.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
You're gonna love. When we moved to South Carolina, I thought it was a new opportunity to explore some of the plantations that I was doing family trees on. So my daughter and I, we did get to go back to Blumenthal Plantation, and it renewed everything I knew about the plantation, but I found out a little bit more. And that was it. I sort of understood the good side and the bad side of good and bad people. Ironically, you're going to love this, my supervisor and I shared the same birthday, different birth years, but same birthday. And instantly, when we met, I knew I was in trouble. He obviously knew a little bit more about me than I anticipated, like on a different level. Instantly, he told me I was too happy. Told me, he was very dark. He was very
That's
different.
what Wendy and I got on you. Not that you're too happy, but that you're happy.
Yeah, I
forgot to share our impressions.
I was a psychiatrist because I was like, is happy bad? She was like, well, and it kills me. If anybody has heard this before from a doctor, you need to go to a different doctor. First question, what is your impression of life? I'm like, life is great. It's like you live it. And yes, I'm a little afraid of death because I don't want to die. I want to be around forever, but who wouldn't? But, if you wake up in the morning and it's sunny, it's rainy, whatever, it's a great day. Hey, if it's Tuesday, it's Tuesday. It's almost Friday, okay? She says, well, wow, that's a little bit over-optimistic. I'm like, really?
What?
Okay.
What?
Yeah. Then she says, well,
did she go to the University of Eeyore?
I thought she went to the University of kind of crazy myself.
Yeah.
And there was another question. She said, well, what do you think about your sex life? And I was like, what do you mean? She says, are you addicted? I was like, I have 6 kids.
Are you what? Can you repeat that?
She said, am I addicted to sex? I'm like, let me think.
I was hoping I didn't hear that right.
I was like, I like it.
This is just like really ridiculous that this doctor was saying these things.
But ironically, if you look at the guidelines for bipolar disorder,
okay,
sex overly active and sex is a bipolar disorder.
Oh, that's true. So that's why she was asking? Oh.
And then, after all of these questions, and she sent me to a specialist, and he said, well, happy is not bad, but I'm afraid when you crash, you're going to crash really hard. My version of crashing really hard is, honey, my heart hurts. And then I forget what I was so upset about.
I don't get the feeling that you're bipolar. Is that true?
You know, I do admit there are days where I feel, as my husband said, I feel like a normal person.
I like that, yeah.
My definition of normal is really different.
Like, well, okay, well, my sad is what people consider normal. Okay? So if you ever see me crying, I have hit, like, rock bottom. This is really bad. So
wait a minute. Is that bipolar or is that empath? I
think that's empath.
I do too. Totally.
I do too.
And it was interesting. They tried to put me on medication for it. That worked out really well because I had dreams inside of dreams inside of dreams.
Oh, wow.
Okay, which required me to then take sleeping pills because now I was wide open. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't eating. I was going completely nuts. Then they put me on a sleeping pill. They had to put me on a pill called New Vigil to wake me back up.
Oh,
now let's think about this cycle.
Oh, no.
If you do this to a person with any type of ability, you have just messed them up.
Serious.
I started getting paranoid with the things I knew and wanted it to stop. It was like something has to give. Something. So it was a medication.
Yeah.
If you can't be yourself on the medication and it alters your personality so badly that you don't know whether you are real or if you are in effect a threat to yourself, that medication did that. And it was sad because I talked to more people who said, well, I don't think I am. And I said, well, if you don't think you are, why would you take the medication? First of all. Second question is, why do you allow a medical profession or a psychiatrist or a psychologist to define you as a person? If you're happy, happy. But yes, I agree, there are some people who need help because they can't handle the realities of the world and the situation and being an impact. But you don't have to medicate everything. And Travis, my agent, he could tell you, you knew something changed when they put me on that medication. I couldn't write anymore. I'm ADHD. I was so unfocused. I was like, my unfocus was unfocused.
Oh, boy.
And it was just like, I can't write right now. You got to wait. I'm wired. New Vigil, if you don't know, half of a New Vigil pill will keep you up for 24 hours. Half.
Holy cow. Oh, my gosh.
This medicine they use for soldiers who are fighting wars to keep them up for 24 to 48 hours.
Do you feel comfortable saying what those are, or would you rather not?
What do you mean?
The medications.
Ambien, Lamictal. It was Lamictal, then Ambien, and then New Vigil.
And what's the last one?
New Vigil.
Never heard of that one.
That one is
Ambien, I've heard a lot of people sleepwalk.
Ambien, yes. Well, when I took it, I didn't even dream. It was very strange. And my dreams tell a lot about what's going on around me. So not having those dreams, I couldn't even solve problems. Yeah, I solve problems in my sleep. It's very normal. But I couldn't do that. I was completely, like, in a box. So I'm back out the box, y'all.
Yay!
Wow. That's quite an experience that you had.
Yeah, but I don't know if most people know that. Back during the campaign, there was a pamphlet that was advertised to go to all voters called Mental Health in America.
Okay.
And as volunteer, I'm a Toastmaster. I did a speech on mental health. And when I came across this and I displayed it, I work near Capitol Hill. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting within a group of professionals who are federal employees who were stunned that this came out. And it revealed some very staggering numbers. And it disappointed me because right after that, we had the shootings in Connecticut. Let me tell you, there's a difference between gun control and mental health care and rights.
Yes.
Each one of these people who had the guns had a mental problem.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a psychic, it was a mental issue going on, and everybody knew about it. Like the mom, the kid. She funny, you talk about being a medium. My first impression when I heard her name, I said, "Oh my God," she was terrified. She was definitely somebody who had a lot of anxiety about her safety.
Mhm.
And she worried about her safety. Who knew? She probably never figured out that the person she most feared was the person in her home. For him to turn the guns on her and then to go to the school, that's the part I can't figure out. Why the school?
I couldn't either.
I want to go to that area. It's like I haven't been to the World Trade Center for very obvious reasons.
Oh, that was amazing energy. Like not happy energy.
It was crazy because at that point I knew things just like you knew, and I said America is not ready for the full truth.
They're getting ready, I believe. I believe people are waking up more and more.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I saw and felt and knew could not have been the way they were told to us.
Right.
Just like I asked a question in a couple of interviews ago. Do you remember that day? Why is it that our jets can scramble and be anywhere in 3 minutes, but that day they couldn't reach the Pentagon? Nothing made sense that day to me. And then all of a sudden I said, oh, my God, it was planned and it was okay by certain people.
Yep.
You're on my same wavelength.
Mhm. Mine too. Yeah.
I can imagine how many other empaths and intuitives know this.
Yep.
Who do you say? Well, I know for a fact that somebody told them to stand down.
But a lot of people are getting that revelation, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and it's so scary because can it happen again? Well, guess what? My take on bin Laden, certain people knew where he was. They've known where he was for a long time. Unfortunate for them, we had a president that came into office who did not have a financial connection to this man. And they went in, and that president went in and got Osama bin Laden when nobody else in the oil conglomerate would.
Mhm. And they wouldn't let, the Clinton's vice president, they wouldn't let him go after him way back when he knew he was up and coming.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, think about all the people who are in the oil conglomerate. Oh, the Bush family. Don Blair's family. I mean, we can go on and on. All
Can I ask
these
you a question? Do you feel that bin Laden was behind all that?
No, I think he wasn't the main one behind it, unfortunately.
No. I got the word scapegoat.
I had an inkling of something when it first happened. I said, isn't that peculiar that they both aimed for the same level on both towers. Bin Laden's brother he actually had his office shut down that day. And called it a holiday. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know that
one.
one.
There's a lot of suspicious facts that came out about it.
Yeah, Michael Moore, this is another person. I love Michael Moore, but don't you think it's kind of funny that no one's tried to hurt him? He knows something big.
Yeah. Yeah, he's protected by the secrets. Mm-hmm.
He is protected by that secret, and I guarantee you it has a lot to do with some of our presidential families.
Well, a lot of them portray him as crazy, quote unquote.
I'm sure
I think
they have to discount him. So.
Right, exactly. So if they don't kill them or target them, it seems to be, let's make them nuts. Let's make them look absolutely out of this world, crazy.
But he
that's in the way of it.
Factual points. It made me wonder if he was, in fact, the empath. He knew a lot of things that I kind of figured out quickly, and I'm like, wow. Dude, you're crazily cool. But
cool.
I fear for your life because
that's
know. But, I'm going to tell you, with genealogy, I would love to, I don't know if you know, but Michelle Obama's family ties back to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and that's when I went this past week, tracing my family tree. I'm like, wouldn't that be cool? I'm related to the First Lady.
Oh, wow. That would be.
Circle. But genealogy, right? Really, truly, I'm telling you, everything, I want to know who's in my family because I want to know who it was that revealed their secret first. Like, I know that my great-grandmother was an Eastern Star. And I know that my grandmother was one. I think that even my mother, I think that she is some kind of way in tune, but she tries to bury it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's caused her a little bit of mental anguish.
I'm glad you brought up this topic because there's a couple of things I had in mind to talk to you about. That was, first, I get really strongly. I mean, and it's obvious. Your heritage, every one of them have huge spiritual beliefs. So you got Native American, the European, many do, and then, faith. And then, now, this is the one thing I want to talk to you about. The African heritage. They're in Africa, there's a lot, I can't think of the name, but there's a lot of spirituality going on, a lot of rituals and ceremonies. But yet, now you mentioned this too, that African Americans or people with that culture here in America seem to be almost fearful of anything having to do with that realm, and I'm not sure why that is.
I know why. Okay, I'm going to take you back to a little bit of history, okay?
All right. Okay. Oh, can we tell everyone, too, you're a historian as well?
Oh, yeah. You can tell them that.
Yes. I just wanted everyone to know that.
Okay. During slavery, it was, you were Bible beat. I call it Bible beaten down. Can I say it that way? Mm-hmm. Because they had to get that spirituality out of the slaves. So they brought in Christianity and said, hey, this Bible right here, this book right here says that you're my slave and you have to obey me. That means any of your voodoo, any of your spiritual type things, you stop. Many slaves went out in the field and hid things, like they might put bones, like if a slave betrayed them, they might put snakes and spiders and broken twigs and skins and frog legs or whatever.
All that fun
in their
stuff.
drawers, or bury them right in front of their houses so that they'll have bad luck.
Yep.
Or bad karma. Mm-hmm. They did this even to their masters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, the thing about black people today is they were told that this is all bad. You stop that. That is not of God.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's graduated with each generation that it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, I can't say that my family has always supported it. I'll kind of say half and half.
Okay.
And it's funny, the half that does is more Native American and kind of relates a little bit better to things of the oddity. Oh, yeah, odd things. You know, just like I'm a super crafty person. Well, I know, you know, cousins of mine who are definitely just not. It's definitely, it has a lot to do with slavery, put it that way. Slavery did more than just strip black people of their dignity. It stripped them of their identities. And
don't forget to mention the same thing happened to the Native Americans. There was like a Holocaust for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hugely.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of my client, Mr. Allen, who's my last client. I wondered, he wanted to find out about his Native American heritage. And I spent 3 years tracing his family tree. And the more I got into it, the more I became enveloped in his tree.
Wow.
It was very scary, the fact that his family had so much Indian blood mixing through it. And here he is saying, I want to know. I know I am. Something tells me I am. And I adore him. You know, and it's kind of funny. I've never met him face to face, but I feel like he is my family.
Oh.
And since you said that too, it reminds me to tell you the other thing I got was that your ancestors are so close by you with the beliefs that they had, and very happy that you're open to it. There's a lot of things I can teach her, I heard an older lady say.
I'm gonna tell you what happened in South Carolina. I had a dream last Friday night. Thursday night, the night of the 4th. I was standing on a pathway in my dream, and this young man. I went to take a picture of the pathway because I thought it was pretty, and a young man appeared in my camera that I couldn't see with my natural eye, and he said, "They're waiting for you. It's okay." And I'm thinking, okay. I woke up. I told my cousin about it. I told my husband about it. I told my aunt. And I said, it's okay. We can go to the cemetery and take pictures. Because the last time I took my cameras into cemeteries, they broke my camera. I have to say. The ghost broke my camera.
Oh, man.
Spirit. It drove me crazy.
I'm laughing because I can relate.
I kind of was like, well, at least if they break my phone camera, I have a warranty. I can just
gotta be specific next time. If anyone's gonna break that, this one has a warranty.
I have seen my website. I posted some of my great-great-grandparents and my great-grandparents' headstones. These were at 2 different cemeteries. And my husband, before I got out of the car, at the first cemetery, he's like, "You are not taking a camera." I went, "Oh, no, I'm taking my phone." See? And I took pictures with my phone. And, you know, it's one cemetery I wish that I really want to take some other mediums with me, because this cemetery has had so much action and so much history with my family that family members have heard spirits call their name in the cemetery, clearly. And I said, that is something that people need to see documented. Because it hasn't just happened to 1 or 2 people. It's happened to a lot of us. So this last trip, we didn't get to go because all of a sudden everyone had amnesia and didn't remember the name of the cemetery. And when we get home, everyone said, "Oh, yeah, I remember. It's right down the street from the other one." Like, what? That's 8 hours away. You just don't conveniently forget. It's like, I don't know what happened. I just couldn't remember. I know what it was. It was a block.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we had my children with me, and I think I kind of think you got to shield kids a little bit from things you know. So I think they were shielding the kids from seeing something or hearing something that may frighten them a little bit.
I don't doubt that for a second.
So it was okay for me to go, but it was not okay for them to go. So I said, okay, my aunt, my cousin, and I have decided we're going back down in August to go to the cemetery. And we're going to take pictures of my great-grandmother, Sally Jackson Johnson, who was very Native American, and document the graves around her. That key right there is very strange. She was she died young, so she was a force to be reckoned with, apparently, in her natural life. Well, I want to go meet her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's scary enough, my daughter and I look like her. So I'm ready. I told Charles, you can see this on my blog and my website. You go, yeah, Van got crap scared out of it, but it was cool. It was just so awesome. I heard her call my name. I wanted to run, and I turned around, and she still wasn't there. No, but you know what I mean. I've actually had dreams of people, and I didn't know who they were, and I see a picture of them, like 2 or 3 days later. It's like, oh, that was a person. Who's that? That's your aunt Josephine of your great-great-grandfather's sister. I'm like, cool. I'm supposed to know something. So I go trace her family tree. When my grandma died, it was about 4 months after she died. I had a dream about my grandma, and I had walked up the steps to her apartment that she lived in for a long time, and literally, I went to the door, went to unlock the door, and the door was chained. Now remember, I know in my dream that she's dead. I know because I put a little heart locket with my husband and myself face on it in her coffin with her in her hand. So I look in, and I'm like, oh, and I fell back trying to get down the steps in my dream. So I'm like, I know they're dead. I know. I watched them. Every time someone dies in my family, I watch them put the dirt on them. It snowed that day. I stood out in the freezing cold, and I made my husband, my uncle, and my cousin stay with me while they finished. And to make sure she was really buried. And she said, I just wanted to come back and tell you I'm okay, I love you, and it'll be fine. And she walked back to the door and disappeared. Now, I woke up, and I could smell her cologne. Or what do you call it, her perfume. And my husband said, do you smell that? He said, yeah. I was like, she was here. Oh, I had so many questions.
Wow.
But I've only seen her in my dreams. I saw my dream recently, actually, about a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, she was just standing there and smiling. And it was like, when you see your grandma smiling at you in your dream, you're like, oh, God, am I going to die?
See, I think that is so cool when they come to people in their dreams. I don't usually have that. I mean, they come to me in waking life, but I'd really like the dream thing. That would be cool.
I usually get the dream thing.
Wow.
Yeah, the dream thing is kind of funky in a way because sometimes you're trying to figure out if it's just a dream or was it a message.
Right, right.
I always tend to go with the
cryptic message.
Yeah, very cryptic. And you know what? My grandma used to play lottery, and she would say, oh, I had a dream about fish. Oh, somebody's pregnant, but I got to play 459. Wait, no.
Yeah, come on, give me the numbers.
And then I've actually had people say, well, you're psychic, and you can see the past. Why aren't you rich? I'm like, dummy, it's the past.
Guys, we're coming up on the halftime. Do you want to take a quick break? I can play a song and
Vangie, are you willing to stay with us for another hour?
Sure.
Yay!
Oh, yay! We'll be right back.
awesome song. You are listening to Mystic Moon Cafe. We have Vangie Williams with us, and we are discussing many, many topics, some of which about parageology. Did I say that right?
No, we're not studying rocks for ghosts.
Parageology. She's a paragenealogist.
Yes, there you go.
There we go.
We're just skipping all over to different topics, all of which equates to your journey, your spiritual journey. I was wondering if it'd be okay to read the impressions that I got about you before I met you, just for fun. Oh, okay, awesome. So I did not. You were kind of a last minute guest, and we really appreciate that. We originally had Jodie Foster. She's going through some turmoil right now, so we wish her the best. So I wanted to read about you, but before I did, I believe I connected with you. And the first thing was I wanted to laugh. I wanted to giggle. I just felt so good. Like as if I was in person with you, I would leave feeling awesome. Because it's that attention. You are a listener, and you seem to be able. Now this is just my impressions, but it's like you're able to reach within a person and be able to talk to them on their level. That's also a trait of empath. Being able to connect with somebody and meet them on the same ground so that they can relate and feel not so alone. So I feel like you have a natural ability with that. I also felt there's a serious side to you. Wait. Hold on. No. You know, that kind of thing. Like when something's getting out of hand, you're like, okay, hold on. Humble. I got humble right away. I got the word grateful, that you're grateful like every day you wake up. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. That doesn't die. Let's see. Also that I got when you were young, it started that you were able to piece things together. A lot like what you do now with genealogy. Like, I see the connection with this, and this. And not everybody is able to do that, but it's like you have that innate ability. So, let's see, I think I got... I also got, you're extremely nurturing. I saw a picture of a mother holding an earth and cradling it and having that. So that makes sense with all the gratefulness, the natural nurturing that you have, the love that you have for people on a soul level. So that's what I got about you.
That is very true.
Awesome.
That's very true.
Maybe I really am psychic.
That's like on spot. I know people. I know people. I've met people who, in fact, my daughter's boyfriend, his mom came up, and as sweet as a human being she is, she just met me and pretty much opened up and told me everything that's going wrong in her life. And I was kind of surprised because I was like, wow, I met you like 20 minutes ago. This is like the fastest. But everywhere I go, I meet people. And it's like we know each other, which is really strange. And like what you said, in fact, my personality trait is the ENJS, which says I'm a natural-born teacher and, again, a nurturer. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it? I've been taking care of my mom for the last 18 years. You know, and she takes care of my kids. So I take care of my mom, she takes care of the kids. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a gift for you. I want you to write my full name, okay? My first name.
Okay.
It's L-A-V-A-N G-E-L-E-N-E. What's in the middle of my name?
Angel.
I see it.
Oh, I like it.
And who named you this? Your mother? My mother. She never even saw that in the middle of my name. I was in past life, I was a bouncer, and they didn't like calling me Vangie. Like one gentleman in particular said, "You are not a Vangie. You are an angel. You are so an angel." And I thought it was so awesome. I was like, "Hey, how come you guys never call me Angel?" They're like, "Yeah, Angel, whatever. It's right in the middle of my name. Vangie is not in my name. Vange is, but not Vangie."
Mm-hmm.
But it also, I've been told I went to Venice Beach. Of course, I know everybody tells me, "Why did you go to Venice Beach?" And a tarot card reader ran up to me and started saying, "I have messages for you. Oh my God, come here. I'm like, "Lady, I'm not paying you one penny." You know, and she said, okay, well, first, you're going to be, like, mega successful, and it's not going to be the type of success that people go, you know, all out crazy for. Mm-hmm. And you need to you need to embrace it. And then she said, oh my gosh, she got so excited. It was kind of scary because my friend Linda, who is a devout Roman Catholic, said, "Are you kidding me? You're talking to a psychic?" And she was like, I went, "That's not fair."
Not at all.
I'm like, "Wait a minute.
That's terrible."
You talk to me? She said, "But you're different." I said, "I'm not different." Because when I first met her, she and I connected so strong that I knew that she wasn't being of herself, and I pulled her out of a depression.
Wow.
And I was like, hold on. Then the lady, she said, "Wait, I'm not done. Oh my God, you're surrounded by so much energy. It's insane." She's like,
True.
"You are the luckiest person I've ever seen in person." And she's like,
wow.
Okay, I'm clumsy and things do happen to me that hurt a lot, but money seems to come whenever it's desperately needed.
Wow.
I mean, I got hit by a car, and the injuries were enough that it kind of made me realize what my grandfather was saying was, you let it slip past, and it's your fault. Since then, especially after that car accident, a lot more things came to light to me. I could tell what was... I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Isn't it amazing how many gifts are encased in things that we feel that we perceive as bad?
Yeah, exactly. This is like my husband. I could be upset at work. Back when I was pregnant, I don't know if he hasn't done it in a while because I don't get upset often. But my coworkers had just set me off this day, and to get me mad, you have to really go to a place in me that is digging too deep.
Trigger.
And yeah, he called my office. This was funny. This is before we had cell phones. He called my office looking for me, and one of the girls came in back. She said, "Your husband's on the phone." He was asking, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Are you okay for real?" Because I was crying. And she said, "Oh my God, how did he know you were crying?" And I was like, I got back to the phone, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He was like, "Don't let people do this to you." And that's the saying my grandma used to say, "Don't let anyone lick the red off your lollipop." I let them go there.
I like that. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
She wouldn't mind if we use that, does she?
Yeah, I let them go there on me, and I had to learn don't. But in the same sense, having this gift probably saved a lot of injuries of construction workers. You know, not me, but construction workers in general. I keep saying, God has a plan for my toes because I've broken 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had 4 toe breaks in less than a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Travis was
I wonder if that's an empath thing, because I've been they knew me by name in the children's hospital.
Oh, man.
What's getting done now? Oh, your arm broke. Okay, last week it was your leg.
Yeah, it must be because I've broken my shoulder, hip, kneecaps, toes, thumb, pinky fingers. It's like, they say, "Well, you need to slow down." What do you mean I need to slow down? I'm not going fast.
It all happens in slow motion.
And that's what's so funny. When you kick your toe, you do not jump fast. It's a slow thing.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's like time to stand still. It goes really slow.
But I do want to go places that are highly spiritual. Like, I want to go to Egypt, except they keep having, like, these little scrimmages that, I'm not prepared to die because of stupidity. If I want to die, it's going to be because I fell off a pyramid, not that someone shot me while climbing the pyramid type of a thing. I definitely want to go to Rome. I definitely want to go to South Africa, to some of the gateways to slavery. Jamaica, oh my. Jamaica,
Can we change that? I want to go to I will go. I'm going to go.
Definitely go to St. Anna and St. Elizabeth, where is near Montego Bay. Let me tell you.
You're going to go to all these places. I know it. I feel it.
Yeah, the Green Grotto is like a Shenandoah Valley type thing, with a Luray Cavern, except there's no electricity in them. It's phenomenally spiritual.
We have a grotto here. It's really pretty.
Oh, man. I loved it. Loved it. There's a mansion there. I should one day post those pictures. This mansion, I felt in a connection with a young girl there. And I know she died really young, but it was really cool because she wasn't, it was funny because she was a slave owner, but she wasn't a slave owner.
Gotcha. I understand that. Yep.
And it was a lot to grasp when I was there. And we were there for 7 days. And, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to Sandals. It costs a whole lot of money.
No, I haven't.
And the only thing we did at Sandals was we probably ate one meal there and we slept there. So we went to Jamaica and the Bahamas. I put my feet in water one time for about 10 minutes. Never touched water anymore while we were there.
Oh, wow. So I did the cruise. If I could suggest a place that I found to be just overwhelmingly spiritual, it was there in Cancun, Tulum, an old Mayan religious place up on a bluff overlooking the ocean. Now, yeah, they killed a lot of people. I understand that, but that wasn't what I felt there. It was so peaceful and so deep and just wow, completely wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got something from a chat room. Do you mind if I read it to you?
Sure.
Tash Fabulous said, I would like to know if there are any messages from Spirit and things that are coming ahead soon. I assume for her.
Can you repeat that again?
She would like to know if there are any messages from Spirit and things that are coming ahead soon. Tash Fabulous.
Tash Fabulous. What a cool name. Okay.
Oh,
that might be funny.
Can I help you?
Yeah, because I feel happy. This person was like a happy person like me.
Awesome. I got that too.
Yes, she
That's
is.
so weird.
Or they are.
and this is what's funny. Okay, now that you've read his question, his heart is beating fast. He's actually excited. And calm down. Calm down. Okay. I think you got to realize he has a new goal. And his goal, he has to recognize that it's not about any monetary level. It's first about what is self-satisfying for him. So tackle that first, and the riches will come. It might not be all financial, but the riches will come. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Does that make sense, Tash? We'll get a reply. And I'd like to invite, if it's okay with you, I'm going to ask you first, is it okay if we invite callers to call in to talk to you and ask you questions? Great.
Sure.
Wendy, what's our number?
It is 646-716-6207.
Tash said, I don't let anyone hold me down or back.
That's right. And that's that happy. You know how some people are just ingrained happy and tell them, I love his heart fluttering. That's so cool. That is so cool. I have met people over the last, I'll say, 5 years who walk in so many different realms of life. In fact, on my website, I have a speech I do called Life Forward Every Day. As a Toastmaster, I try to cater all my speeches to reflect who I am. You know, some of them are related to maybe a special topic like mental health or what have you. But Life Forward Every Day is like this with me. I've met people, and I've had people go, oh, gosh, I can't stand her hair, or, you know, she's dark, or he's scary looking. I don't do that. When I meet people, they're as fresh to me as a blank paint canvas. And I let them draw the picture of themselves. I let them write the story. I let them tell me who they are. I don't care what their past is. That's their past. But in the future starts with our relationship right there. You know how you've met people who may do something bad to one person, but another person, they treat them like gold?
Yeah.
I firmly believe that people are people in certain, or their personalities take on certain circumstances. I am a firm believer that everybody is 1,000%
Ash says you're right,
people.
by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got to tell you that.
But it's kind of weird because Cash, to me, I don't know him, but that I think that's an empath type thing. Like you said, it's kind of new to me that being called an empath. I've always thought it was just intuitive. But yeah, and it's like yeah, but no.
It could be a little bit of both too. It could be both.
I mean,
because I don't think we're just strong in one.
I don't either. But you know,
it's like a combination. But yeah, empath to me. I mean, I've always been into emotions, inside of emotions. Very difficult place to be growing up, and I gotta say though, it's amazing when you're able to kind of put things in perspective and connect with others, and you just know it's them. It just all resonates as correct, and you give it to them, and then I've seen so many people cry with healing tears because they're not alone anymore. And then you take it from there, because if you've healed yourself, you can help give them avenues of possibly healing themselves.
Right.
So empath is they say cursing and a blessing. I guess, everything's got both sides. So, yeah, there's challenges and there's great, amazing gifts.
Yeah, have you ever met? It's funny. I have had people go, "Oh, this guy is such a jerk. When you meet him, you're going to hate him." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, really? Or they can't stand anybody. I have met people like this, and then when they meet me, they become some of my best friends. And
that's usually a perspective on themselves, because a lot of it is reflections. If somebody's having a really difficult or like a negative perception on themselves, most likely they'll see other people like that.
Well, I have two of my friends who, when I was in, I'm not even going to say where I was, in a certain place in my life, I've had people go, pretty much warn me to stay clear of this person at all costs.
Oh, wow.
And when I met the person, not only did I find this person to be a joy to be around, but it also taught me more about myself than I ever assumed I would learn. And another thing, I've actually recently, I've realized my bosses did something that was ultimately probably the weirdest and most coolest situation. They put me in an office with someone who was often part of trouble all the time. And I realized they put me in there as a medium.
Oh, how did you feel about that?
I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. You put me, a senior person, in there to calm her? It's like, because you have this spirit, the customer loves you, and they're the most difficult customers we have. So, putting her in the room with you probably settled her. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, so I get to deal with everything all day. But the thing about it is she is a sweet person. It's just her personality. And, I people might say it's quirky, but that's her personality. I cannot redefine her as a person when that's who she is. And I like it. It's like my kids. Oh, my gosh. My oldest daughter, my goodness, she likes to wear clothes from 1970 and 1980s. She would go.
Why do
to
I keep seeing her? She's
store.
standing up straight with her arms crossed, and then just her head tilted a little bit.
That's her.
It's like,
Yes, she is probably
strong-willed.
She's had more difficulties dealing with herself than most people. But the thing about her is she knows exactly what she wants. She just doesn't know how to go about getting it. And today I laid some information on them, her and her best friend, and they are overly excited and enjoyed. They're like, wow, we could do this. Can you believe that? Teenagers listening to their mother. Like, new concept. And they're like, wait a minute, can we make money? And I'm like, you can make money from this. You just have to kind of like manage it well, put everything in writing. For 18-year-olds to say, I can start a business and I think we can make this happen is very cool. And she hasn't even realized that I'm picking this up from her. This is information I know she already has in her. I just brought it to the surface.
All right. My belief is that she picked you as a parent for a reason.
Yes.
For her own
my
growth.
Little girl, this girl, my 18-year-old, she rolled over the first day she was born.
Holy
Not once,
cow.
but twice. Twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She never cried. In fact, you want to hear something that
Sure.
most parents are
Absolutely.
going, whatever. I slept the entire labor with her. Like in the
Seriously?
hospital. I slept. Woke up and said, I got to go to the bathroom. They said, no, dear, you're having a baby. I'm like, oh, great. Had a baby, looked at my
Wow.
husband.
A lot of moms like that feeling.
Yeah. And I wasn't even drunk.
I got to know you're having a kid. What?
Look, it was so comfortable and so easy. I gut played the nurse said, you ready to have another one? I was like, yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, it's like she came saying, I'm not going to give my mom any trouble.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I'm a teenager.
She never cried when she was a baby. She was a very quiet child. But that quietness as a teenager told me that something within her was not all happy.
I agree.
And it started progressing more and more as she got older. And we finally got it under control with a revelation.
I got wisdom. It's the wisdom that she has. It isn't quite fitting. It's like having a big shirt, having to wear a huge shirt, and not quite fitting, not feeling exactly comfortable or knowing what to do with it.
She's so overly mature. It's often shocking that she's only 18. Now, strangely enough, my second daughter, she is even more advanced in her. She whines she still doesn't like community. You know, a kid whines when they can't get their way, but she too is super intuitive, and I know she's an empath. you know, she just has a thought, and it's like she comes in, she's like, I'm sad, and I'm like, what's wrong? Because I don't know, and that's when I find out that something happened to someone close to us in the neighborhood, and I mean, artistic. Both of these kids can draw like no other. My oldest daughter on YouTube has a page called Artsy Fly, and she's on DeviantArt as Artsy
What's it called
Fly.
again?
Artsy Fly, ARTESEFLY.
Oh, nice.
Okay? And my other daughter has some wicked names. Don't even get me started with her.
Remind me, I got a chat question when you're ready.
Both of these kids are super artistic, but I realize my daughter draws art. I don't know where that comes from. And I'm convinced that there's something behind her art that's revealing, because she draws eyes a certain way, and you look into these eyes of these drawings, and you're like, they look so human, so real, and it's interesting.
I got the word channeling.
What's that word?
Channeling. Accessing.
You know what? She loves the 1920s. Imagine that.
It might be a fast life.
Me too.
Imagine that. And I recently, you know what? I wish I could send this book to you. I recently came across, my cousin sent me a book that was from my great-grandmother on my grandfather's side from the 1920s.
Oh, neat. What is it?
Is
it a diary? Or?
Yeah, we can look it
No,
up, right?
she took pictures with a camera.
Ooh.
1917.
Wow.
Yes. And she
my brother lives in Virginia. I'll visit eventually. And then
definitely
you can show
call me.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There was a history behind this woman that she denied that her children were her children until her deathbed. That's when they found out that she was their mother and not their aunt.
Oh, wow.
It was like an imitation of life situation that was real. And she was very entrepreneurial, very, she had, my grandfather and his sister May were born by the same man, and they had a brother who just disappeared. And the family says that he left because it was time to go. But I found her life is so interesting. I want to find her grave because I think it's important, very important. She is definitely a key. And I keep saying the name Vizel, but Jerry Vizel does not look like that's the right name, but I think it is. And, of course, none of the family knows, so I can't verify it. You know?
Oh, dang. Mm-hmm.
Back in the 1913s, a white man and a black woman who's passing for white would not be a real comfortable thing in Virginia, since it was against the law to marry.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out this relationship. And I know he was not American. He was definitely not American.
Okay.
But she became comfortably wealthy by the 60s, right before she died. I'll say right before she died.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to find some more information about her. And I said I'm calling a bunch of psychics to come with me to get this all out on paper. But let's do a chat room question. The last one was fun.
Yeah, actually it was a comment. I read it wrong. You actually got a few comments here. Let's see. Rose, I believe, said, spirit guide or guides, anything. I believe God wouldn't give us these gifts if we were not able to handle them.
Right.
I'm going to go a step further and say the awareness of. And I believe that's a choice. Because we talked about this earlier.
Right.
That we all have it. I believe, too. That no one's immune to being able to connect with the spiritual love on that side. So I guess it's timing, too, for when a soul is ready. And I believe it starts with willingness, and then the awareness comes. Because, man, do I have stories about people that I know that said that they don't have a psychic bone in their body, but now they're, like, seeing everything. They're practically getting addresses on people.
And I just refuse to see dead people, so there.
Yeah, you might get there.
Oh, no. No.
Who knows? Rose also said her daughter looked at a stuffed zebra and drew a picture of what she called a goat, and a bull mix is what she sees when she looks at it. Well, that's pretty cool. Her daughter's very gifted.
Angel Love is asking, please, any message from her mom?
You know.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say real quick, as soon as she said that, I heard, I love you, honey. Like, kind of like that.
Oh, how's that, Angel?
I didn't get any evidence yet, though, but I just had to say that. I heard that first.
Yeah. It's hard for me. I haven't developed that well enough.
I'm sorry. I don't know what are you sorry about?
There you go.
What are you sorry about? Oh, she looks sad. Show me sad eyes. What are you sorry about? I wasn't always the greatest mom or the best mom, something like that. Let's see. She could have done better, is what she feels. Well, you probably did the best you could with what you had.
Most do. Mm-hmm. But there's still that guilt.
But there was a good leave. It felt like a good leave. Like there was an understanding.
Right.
And forgiveness around that. It's just what I feel. I hope that fits for her. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Vangie?
This person is a really quiet person.
Like withdrawn quiet?
Yeah.
Maybe you're picking up on depression or sadness. Unresolved sadness.
I hate to ask this question. What's the chat person's name? Ivy?
Angel Love.
Angel Love. Was your mom ever abused? Can you answer that real fast?
She's typing.
Okay.
It's abuse
unresolved.
or
There are some unresolved issues, though.
I feel this person, I don't know if she's her mother. That's the thing, because I'm not there. But wow, this person gives me an impression that she was. I don't think physically abused, but overlooked or ignored. And
neglect.
She was a cancer. She was a cancer patient.
She felt like, yeah, but it's a
look
lot.
Back in your childhood. We're mostly talking about when she was alive with you, right?
Yeah, she's saying she was. It most likely was something parental on her parents.
Her childhood
was a lot of neglected, not neglect, but overlooked. Like she wasn't the pride and joy.
Okay.
I don't think she was the only sibling.
Angel was the abused one.
Wow.
By the father.
Oh, God.
I hope that's okay if I say that.
Well, I see a male. I don't know if it was a stepdad or a father, but I see a male behind a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do you want to call in? You can call in, Angel, if you would like.
Sure. And we do have a caller.
Okay. Let's take the caller.
Okay. Area code 770. You're
Hello?
on the air with us. Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Hi. My name is
Hi.
Maddie.
Hi,
Hey,
Maddie.
Hey.
Hi, Maddie.
How's it going?
All right.
It's
Really
going
good.
awesome.
Friday is almost. It's almost next week again.
There you are, looking into the future.
I just thought to get a general reading, whatever you read. I don't know if you do by cards. My first time calling.
No cards. We just go natural, right, Vangie?
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
I wouldn't know what to do with a card if I saw a card in front of me. He was like, "Ooh, let's play."
I wouldn't know what to do. That's a pretty one. I admire the card readers, though. I don't want anyone to get me wrong. I really like them.
Let's see, Maddie. You need to stop self-doubting. That's one thing you have to stop doing.
And I got
you have
anger.
to go for it.
Okay, thank you. That's very true.
Yeah.
I do analyze. I do analyze a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. If you, it's like, okay. People say impulsive people are bad. Okay, yeah, sort of, sometimes. But worse than that is if you overanalyze, you miss out on the blessings that you're supposed to get. Because what you've basically done is you've kind of like cut that blessing off at the past because you thought it was either not deserved or you deserve more.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So be careful. Be careful not to cut the blessing off to the point where you can't move on to the resolution.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody? It's like butter. You put it in, you get the butter from the store, and it's nice and chilled.
Yeah.
And then you get it home, it's in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And if you walk away too long, that butter gets real mushy and soft.
It gets kind of soft, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. But if you plan on cooking with that butter, being soft might be a good thing. But if you need that butter to cook it, like, and put it on pancakes or something like that, you need it nice and hard, right? Well, if you overanalyze what you're going to do with that butter, it's not going to be any good for you. Because you got to get it out the bag, put it in the refrigerator, and make that decision after you get the blessings of it. So you're going to make a cake from it. You put it in the refrigerator. You take it out when you're going to make that cake. It's the same thing with careers, life, men, pets, children, unfortunately. But
see, that's where I have some impressions, too, if it's okay to add.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling this anger towards somebody, and I kept feeling it was a male. I'm open to it being a female, but it has to do, let's see, hang on a second. There's this frustration, like, I am done. I don't want this anymore. Is there anything?
With a male, probably.
Yeah. It's like,
with
I
a
am
male.
so
well,
done.
Actually, it was just someone that I've been talking with for, it'll be a year in August, next month, by the way. But he doesn't live in the same state that I live in. And it seems as though that, I don't know, maybe it seemed like I don't hear from him like I was in the beginning. It just seemed like he has, maybe he has some issues, some self-esteem problem. I don't know. Just like,
I hear the suggestion to move on, and then I also hear she's already knowing that.
yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? It's just like I just said. If you have a situation and you overanalyze it, you're missing the whole point of what the situation is telling you. I'm going to tell you. When I met my husband, I met him in September. We were married by March.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
We have been together 20 years.
Wow.
We never fought, never had an argument. The thing is, I think as human beings and as women tend to overrule what their common sense and what their gut is telling them. You know, don't overanalyze what your gut is telling you, and then, like I said, you're going to miss the blessing. There could be somebody else standing right in front of you, which I think is, and you are actually wasting precious time to get to know this other person because you're analyzing what you have right there already.
I have
and
someone
standing
in front of me now, you say?
Somebody who's near you, close to you, you see them more than you see your own family is right there in front of you, and it's somebody who you've completely overlooked for a relationship.
I don't know who that is.
You will. Give it, I'll say give it 2 weeks. But you've got to be careful and not give that, what's the word I'm looking for? you cannot give the air that you are completely taken, because technically you're not. Technically, emotionally, physically, you're not.
No, I'm not. That's true. That's true.
So, but in your mind, you are giving, or in your physical energy is saying you are.
Oh, are you having a little bit of trouble letting go of that one? A little bit?
No, I don't. Unless I'm not conscious of it. If I'm throwing that off, I'm really not conscious of it. It's just
I wasn't getting
guess
a psychic
the way that I carry myself.
Okay.
I carry myself in a way that people say, well, you carry yourself a way that you're higher. And I say, and I've always been told that, but I say, I don't know what else to do. I'm just being mean.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe because they don't have the courage to do it themselves.
I mean?
Yeah.
Perhaps they don't have the courage to do it themselves. To carry themselves that way. To carry themselves that way.
It's just the way that I carry myself, and I've always been told that. And they say I don't care if you're wearing jeans, sneakers, you just carry yourself that way. And I'm a Leo rising, and I thought maybe that's it. I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, you seem to me to be the type of person that you are very sure of yourself. And honestly, I hate to say it, there are men out here who love it, but they're intimidated by it.
You know what? It's amazing that you said that, because there's one psychic that was a spiritual counselor for a while with me, and she told me the same thing. She said that is a thing where men, some men are intimidated. That's like they, like you have a very control. She read palms. She said you have a very a control line, and say men, you're gonna need a man that's gonna be able to cut through that control line and deal with you. And I thought,
you are so similar to me, it's scary, because that is me. I am a very, I'm not a controlling, like, bossy person, but I am very in control of where I'm going with my life, how I want my life to be. And my husband is not only very supportive of my life and how I am, but he actually is that, okay, you know how your life goes in a curve?
Yeah.
He is that straight edge that keeps me on that straight and narrow. That makes sense to you. But he is, in his sense, he's not a very overpowering person like me. But I depend on him to make sure that I don't curve off and turn to the right. And that's the kind of person you need. If you are a strong person, that means you are very dynamic in what you do. And trust me, I do a lot. Do more than most people do in a given day. But he's my root. There you go. That's the best way I can put it. He's my root. He keeps me firmly placed. And that's the kind of man that you're going to have to meet. But he's going to be very surprising to you, because this is a very quiet person. I am definitely a talker. Nobody laughs. And I'm a thinker. And I'm a doer.
Opposite attract, right?
Opposite attract. He's very quiet. He's very laid back. And being that we have 6 daughters, he's a great example of what a husband's supposed to be.
So, in other words, you're saying that he kind of keeps you grounded.
Oh, hugely. Hugely. Yes. He is my root. He is I'm the beautiful flowering bush, and he is that root that makes me strong.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So, yeah, just like, okay. So you need him, and he needs you.
And that's the kind of relationship that you're going to need to be in that makes you whole.
Yes, and I need that. I guess I need that flowering bush.
Yeah, see, that person who's a distance away from you, I get the feeling that you love you love affection?
I'm a moon Scorpio, so I do like a lot of passion.
Okay, you can't get that if somebody's not there. I mean, there are other ways, but it's not the same. You know.
That's true. That's very true. Did I mention the person that was far away?
Yes.
I did. Okay.
Yes, and I want to say yes. It doesn't even.
No, I
matter
can't get that far away. That's no good. No, that's no good. I mean,
you need somebody right in front of you. That's why I said there's somebody right there. He's a very quiet person. He's very laid back. It's somebody who you would not think that you would be attracted to, but he's attracted to you. But he's intimidated by you in a way because he thinks that you are untouchable.
Oh, I don't know who that could be.
Don't overanalyze it.
No, I'm not going to analyze it because I was thinking about. I actually was thinking. I had a long conversation with my high school sweetheart. This is going back, and I was jiving with him, and I told him I was going to come by and spend some time with him after the holiday. Is he the one?
Might be, but it's somebody you know. I mean, you know this person. I think that people. If you
said this person live around me,
this person is near you and has been around you and near you for a while. They're somebody who you would completely overlook. Like I said, one thing you got to make sure you don't do is don't overanalyze it, because if you overanalyze it, you'll miss it on another realm.
Okay, I won't overanalyze it. Well, I don't know.
You gotta let it. You gotta let.
I was thinking. There's a young man that lives down the breezeway for me. He walks his dog all the time. I wonder, is it him?
Could be. You know what I'm gonna tell you to do? And my cousin, she is an empath, definitely. She started looking at natal charts. They're called natal charts, and what it does, it takes your birthday and year, and it takes your time you were born, and it tells you about you.
Yeah, I've had that done a couple of times years ago. Yes, I know where all the planets. I know where all the houses and the planets and the placements are.
Do you have an Android phone? I'm going to give you a program, and it is called, I'm going to get it for you real fast. It's called Horoscope of Birth.
That's the name of the
app. It's an app called Horoscope of Birth, and it gives you a daily, very personal outlook for that day. And so far, I've been testing it, and it's been pretty accurate, which is
horoscope of birth. But
yes.
Do you put your time of birth in?
Oh, and this one, no. But my cousin has told me you can look on the internet and you can actually get one that you put your birth time on there, and it analyzes you to the T. Now, I just recently got mine from her, and I was very excited because this was the first time something that was written is that accurate.
Yeah, that's what I want. I would like to have, horoscope of birth. I'm going to write that down because I would love to have that where I put because I think if you don't put the time in this place where you were born, is not customized for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just pretty
much. And also look into numerology.
I mean?
Look into numerology.
Numerology, I dip and dab in that. I like that. I started out with astrology, dipping and dabbing it. Then someone introduced me to numerology, and I still do that sometimes. I ask people, when people tell me and I may ask too, when they tell me their date of birth, because usually they don't give you the year. I can kind of sum things up about them from the number that they tell me. So it's very interesting, and it's amazing how those numbers are right on.
Yeah. Hey, life is so interesting. In no way that any one human being can explain life on Earth and life of a human being. Because, like I said, I think everybody agrees, you're born with a natural psychic ability of some type. You know, I know people who are clairvoyant and see shadows and swear to God they haven't seen a thing. And after a while, I've actually said this a couple times, the more education you get, and trust me, I have a lot of education, the more you turn off in your own body. It's like you push the natural knowledge out to put in book knowledge. Where for me,
it's already there so naturally.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I still practice it as much as I can because I never want to lose that ability. Because, like I said, I think it saved my life a couple of times. And I think people need to recognize that you you are alone, but not alone.
Right, yeah. right. Yes. I've heard that, that we have everything that we need inside of us.
It's true.
It's all there. We don't need to go nowhere else. It's all there. And so here recently, just started maybe about 3 weeks ago, I've been chanting. And I've been told that I met this woman that she and I became friends, and she's a Buddhist, and she this was not the first time that I was introduced to Buddhism, but the first time I decided why not start chanting. She said 5 minutes a day will do it, or if you want to do more, that's even better. And so she said we'll open up your chi, and she said we'll also banish your chakras. So I shall see.
Well, good luck, but hey, find something that makes you happy, and I'm going to tell you one thing that you can do real quick that can actually open you up to more blessings is you need to get into a room that's pitch black. You need a closet floor. A
room that's
pitch
black,
black
okay.
Room. And you need to just ground yourself and start yourself, say, this is the first day of my new life.
Thank you again, and we'll stay in touch.
Yep.
Thank you. All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.